Like, we're creating a space. We're not saying, oh, you're invited to sit at our table. We're saying, no, we are the table.
What is Hey Strawberry Road?
Kind of started out as this idea.
Buzzing bees. I put my headphones on. I put my headphones on. I put my headphones on. And then I sing this song.
You guys, so tell me, what is Hey Strawberry Road?
Strawberry Road is a lot of different things, and it could be different things to different people, but it kind of started out as this idea of like, how do we give back to the community? How do we give back to the autism families that are on this like really isolating journey? And it can be very lonely and very tumultuous. Way back when Benny and I like were pregnant together and we were hanging out, momming and like doing life, she saw kind of like the inside of what my journey was like being an autism mama and the highs and the lows. And it was really awesome to have a friend just around, like just a friend to have coffee and like come into your world and be willing to sit with you. Maybe when you don't want to go out, maybe when you're afraid that like the world will judge you if your kid's stimming. Had moments of dreaming, and then we would like get back and get like sidetracked to like changing diapers. But like as our friendship grew, like we were planting strawberry seeds and like thinking about like how to give back. Kind of paired the love and my background of music with the autism journey that we were experiencing, and teaching how to be a good friend and be inclusion and all the things. We kind of like bottled all that up together and decided to create Strawberry Road. And so Brittany, Benny, and KK, Kara, are like two little strawberries in a pod that are like trying to like sing and dance and teach inclusion through songs in a non-preachy way. And it's lightly educational. Parents want to jam out to it in the car because it's like fun. And we like it. Like we have fun singing it too, but it's all the things of like modern day Mr. Rogers meets Danny Go, where we're just trying to love on these families and spread awareness while we're doing it.
And the message behind the movement, like Kara said, I don't come from that background at all, right? I have no, and there would be times when Kara would just say, you don't have to say anything back. You don't have to say anything at all. Just listen. That really taught me as a neurotypical mom that like sometimes we're not going to have the words. We just have to be there and just be in it with them.
It actually makes your guys' story so much more powerful that you have a friend that, is raising neurotypical children and then someone that's raising neurodiverse children. Because my closest friendships are the same way. Not all of my friends, most of my friends don't have children on the autism spectrum too. And that is the biggest thing they can do for me is just, I'm like, I just need a second. I just need you to be here. I don't need you to be in here with me. I just need you to be here.
Yeah.
And that has made the biggest difference for me. And so I think that is so powerful. You have both perspectives and you're just ready to talk to all children. And I just absolutely love that. I think that's amazing. Your guys' post, and I said, Jason, you're going to be like the next Miss Rachel for our community. This is going to go somewhere. You have no idea. So I'm glad that was your mission too, because Miss Rachel's is all about Mr. Rogers too. So I love that.
I'm just really glad that is clear because, honestly, in our journey, Brittany and I have kind of like figured out a way to make sure that we like drive that message home. It is so important for all brains to be celebrated and beautiful, right? Our niche is autism and loving on autism families because that's come from experience, but also we're going to be teaching children who aren't neurodivergent, who are in this world learning, or they're looking to each other to see how to learn, how to be a good friend, how to notice people's differences. And like, it does start with being a good friend. So you learn by example, right?
Absolutely.
Benny and I are like the example, like we're totally different and it's awesome. And it's the same mission with two different perspectives coming together. And that's what we're trying to teach the littles. So, and I even think Brittany and I are still learning that as this journey is so new. The whole thing is from the heart. It's like, we're learning all the bits, like the music's there, the heart's there, the need is there. And we've been like, are we representing it the right way? Like, oh no, like I'm not also in an autistic family. Are we going to be? It's like, no, that's the whole reason. That's the whole mission. And so there'll be families that don't have children with autism that are trying to teach their children about neurodivergent families, and they're going to look to Brittany. And I might not be able to be like, I understand, there's a role for each of us. And I think that It's all important.
I have 4 children, some of them neurotypical and some of them neurodiverse. My 7-year-old is nonverbal, non-speaking, whatever verbiage you want to use. I think at the time was 5, and his little 5-year-old peer that was coming over to the house and playing with us just very innocently was like, why doesn't he talk to me? Why does he do X, Y, and Z? And so it just came from like a very curious place. And she
Mhm.
just wanted to know more. She just wanted to be that good friend for him. And I think that kids just kind of have that natural curiosity, and that's okay if we teach them more. And so I love that it's going to help both our neurotypical friends and our neurodiverse friends. As an autism mom, just kind of tell us about your journey if you'd like, just real quick, kind of
Yeah.
what got you here.
The background is music. Growing up, always when I was a little girl, I was like 3, I want to be a singer, like with my little phone microphone. And as I got older and did all of the things, we wanted to have a family one day. And so we were living in California. We decided to try, and we had our first sweet child. We had Rhodes out there. And in the beginning, it was really, really, really hard. He cried all the time. It was very colicky, alone, isolating. We were no family out there. So we actually moved back to Nashville, where my husband's from. In about 2, he was diagnosed with autism. We had seen some delays. This was our first rodeo. We had never had a child before. So I was very like, no, he's doing great. He's doing all of these things. Because I'm like the eternal optimist always. He was diagnosed. It was like a halt, like everything, like the music career didn't matter. We walked away from the record deals and all the things. It was like, we're done. We have to figure out this. This is the most important thing in the entire world. And we will do anything and everything that we can to help our child thrive. So, like any mom, like deep dive, all the research, all of the books, all of the blueberry tonic, camel's milk, like recipes that I could find, like
Mhm.
crazy, like what can I do to help my sweet child? I was devastated. It was a very, very dark time. And I went from being the person, the friend, the everybody, that glue for my whole tribe all the time to it's just me. I was lonely. There was nobody. There was no Miss Rachel or North Star or even a friend that understood. And how could they? Because I was I isolated myself. I was just terrified. And I thought, okay, maybe we can like get through this and help him, and then nobody will know. Maybe he'll be fine, and then we don't have to like tell the world how hard this is. That didn't happen. And then COVID happened, and right as we were getting words, everybody's mouths were covered. So much regression when their mouths were covered. Everything was online, and he wasn't in person anymore, and it was just hit after hit after hit, isolation again. And so that seed was planted around that time in my mind too, even before I met Brittany, kind of like, there's got to be a way for families to have connection and somebody to teach them how important it is to like be connected, have a community, because it was very much needed in my world and I didn't have it.
Interesting. So actually right before I met with you guys, I got back from like looking over that book with her, and several of the like sentences you just used are like exactly the same feelings that I had at the very beginning. The isolation, the oh, if I just, like, I literally say in there, if I just hide this and we just work on his milestones, like no one has to know. It's okay. We can play catch up. And so I
Yeah.
just I think if I resonate with that, if you resonate, I think that so many people just understand that story and that isolation and just the
Mhm.
I think that that's how moms, any mom, I think that we have such a unique role to play in the world. Like we have such a unique story to share, and we see the pain points that happen at home, which is if you fix home, you can fix a lot of other things. Like that's like one of my biggest things with my brand is we need to fix the things at home, and then it's going to blossom into every other part of their life. And I
Right.
think as moms, I think I started this brand, you with your music. I think that that's just one of the biggest lessons that I'm learning. And I hope to be able to pass on to other parents kind of navigating this journey is, you had a pain point, and let's figure out how to fix it for the next person so they don't have to have the same one.
Yes, exactly. And I think anybody can relate to that, even like autism or not, right? Like if you
Right.
go through something, it's so important to let people love on you, to let the bennies come in, to let your neighbor come in and just literally just sit with you, or just be like, I might not understand, but I know pain when I see it, and I'm just going to sit and like just be a good friend.
Something I always like to ask everyone is just what's something that you wish someone would have told you before your diagnosis?
I wish that they would have said, stop. You're spiraling. You think X, Y, and Z is going to set them up for success, and it will, but the time will go by way too fast.
Yeah.
And my son Rhodes is going to be 10 in July, and he was diagnosed when he was 2. And those have been 8 years of why, how. I literally was a new mom at 2, and here I am, like, just completely overwhelmed and missing out. I was so focused on, well, why isn't this happening? And the milestones, the whole world is designed for, it's not designed for our children that are neurodiverse. It's not. And it's okay. The world will learn. We're teaching them, right? But I just wish somebody would just said, please stop, slow down, it's going to be okay. You take this time like any other parent and you savor it, because it will go by so fast. And you won't regret all of the research, and you won't regret all of the time you have poured in, but you will regret missing the slowing down and the taking it in. I'll never have that again. And that part of it hurts pretty bad.
Tell us about Strawberry Road. So how do we get from that story to this? Was it like, did your son like resonate really well with music, or did it come more like this came from almost like a self-care kind of point where music was kind of your background?
I can say one thing about those two stories. It's that was really where I fell in love with Kara. Like I've always loved KK, but like for sure, sorry guys, I'd really fallen in love with Kara. We were talking about Strawberry Road, and of course, like she said, she is a perpetual optimist. Like there is not a gray cloud in the sky that will get this girl down, right? She will make a fun day out of it. We were talking about, like, do you think that I should open up? Like, do you think I should, like, on TikTok or whatever, because it might not be the algorithm, right? We're trying to be this happy, everything's, and I was like, here's the thing. At the end of the day, what we're trying to show through music is that everything is okay, right? Like we have a song called It's Okay. And I said, it might be cool to like, do you have anything from when Rose was first diagnosed? And I did not realize what I was opening up. I mean, she went through these photos and I watched her face relive those moments and remember that word isolation, and like her face, not like sadness as in this disappointment, just like, wow, I forgot all of these things. And so as she's saying, like, stop and remember, like, there are going to be really tough days, and there are going to be, just like every parent has, but you deserve your memories. And I think that's where we started talking about, Strawberry
Road as in, like, it's a hopeful place, but it's a real place too. Like it's kind of like, right, like multifaceted, where the whole world needs to know that it is okay. And it's like a very double-sided version of a feeling. Like we write these songs and we sing them, and they come from the honest, real experiences, but it's also okay, like, to feel the pain. And she saw in that moment, I didn't know it was going to happen. She saw a picture. We were looking for a specific picture of me observing Rose behind the double glass of like a session. And I literally unhinged. I was like shaking. And she had never seen that. And I didn't even know it was going to happen.
Well, shimmy, right? I was like, we should totally celebrate the way that these children express joy. And she goes, oh, I got a song for that. Like, and she just within seconds will have something. And that's just Kara. Like KK, like literally, like the other day she was like, Rhodes goes to swim school, and he's like, we should write a song for swim, because I didn't know this. There's a lot of things I'm learning, which I love this about this journey, is I'm learning to love her even more and love these children even more, because I didn't even know that. I know that drowning is 1 out of 4 children. I did not realize 90% of autistic children drown. Like that statistic killed me. And she was like, but you know what? Out of that, I'm going to bring some joy. I'm going to make a song about swimming so that we can bring awareness to why swimming is important, why swim lessons are important. She's been incredibly talented. She will never talk about her accolades, but I will. I mean, she's written songs for like a kids show called Quay Quay. She's done that, but she's like, any Anthropology commercial is her. Like, if you know Wawa, if you're from the North listening, like she's written those commercials. Like she's a star. Like her and her husband really, really are truly super talented, the most talented I've ever seen in my life. And she can,
Thank you, Benny.
You can tell her 3 words and she's like, I got a song. we were out with our girls in a strawberry field. She had started a 501, I'm going to do this wrong again,
501c3.
I always say 3C, called Awesome Life. And she had just had this really great experience at the equestrian farm. She was like, I just posted online and wait a couple hundred people. And she's like, I had so many signups, I had to turn people away because there was nothing like the community that she's trying to build, right? There's nothing like that out here. And I'm not sure that there's anything like that maybe in any state, but she was like, I'm going to do this thing. And people came and they had the best day. And she was like, I got to give back more. How can I give back more? And I was like, Kara, your first thing about you is that you're an incredible songwriter. Started thinking about that. We were in a strawberry field, and as we were singing, we came home and she was like, well, what would the name be? She's like, it should be Strawberry because it's like, where we started thinking about it. And I said, Strawberry Road, because there's an ode to roads. So that's how Strawberry Road came. But also the fact that Strawberry Road can be anything to anyone. It's just a place of joy. So you can put your headphones on, you can, jump on a trampoline, you can sit in your room and watch the lights and there's a song for how these kids should feel joy. Like we just want to feel joy with you in every aspect of it. And through those moments of hardness and isolation, hopefully you feel that like we're here.
We have a sensory-friendly Easter egg hunt coming up, and I'll probably just play Strawberry Road in the background while the kids
Yes! Your headphones on.
That's right.
And then you sing this
I
song.
love it.
La-di-da-di-da.
I just love your story, and I finding that drive. I always talk about how, like, most parents need like an outlet, and I feel like as special needs parents we need like a passion that like we can't put down, that like keeps us up at night because we feel so strongly about it. Like we just need a self-care out of this world, and I think that you've done a great job, an amazing job in doing that, and I can't wait to see where it goes. How do either of you just think that just music in general, how it can help all children who just struggle to kind of find their place? It's very hard for our neurodiverse friends to find a place, but really for all children, some more than others, it's just hard to find their place in this world. And how do you think just music in general just helps with that?
I feel like, especially with what we're doing on Strawberry Road, it can be really regulating, like even down to like the tempo and the sounds that we're choosing. And it's very intentional with what we're doing, but in general, music is very, very good to like tap into those moments. If you're intentional about the tempo of a song, it can kind of help a kiddo sway to the beat and learn how to like breathe with it and literally like de-escalate a bad temper tantrum or something like that. But whenever Brennan, the producer, gets in here, he literally knows that consistency is key for kids that are on the spectrum. And so he actually tries really hard not to shake it up too much with the beats and the tempo and all of those things so that it's very consistent and anticipated. Even like counting off in the beginning of a song to 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like that, oh, they're about to do my thing. Just those things that a lot of kiddos that have autism are like, this is what I do at this time. And it's very structure based. So little things like that can be really helpful. But honestly, at the end of the day, I just think that music is such a powerful tool for all kids in general. And adults, it like if I'm feeling the saddest of sads, I can like literally jump in my car and play the saddest song in the world and cry my eyes out and feel cleansed and cathartic. I think it's the same for our kiddos and their big feelings and little body. I try to be really aware of that. And so does Benny. We try to think about like what could be the best moves to these songs. Get the wiggles out to like breathe through the oceans of emotions. She and I were just doing some content shoot the other day, and she was like, hey, let's sit down and let's like do a breathing exercise for the kids, and we can put oceans of emotions in the background. And so we got those moments to where you compare the movement with the music. So I just think it's such a powerful tool. And honestly, for the longest time, I didn't even realize how powerful it was. I'm just now starting to slowly believe how powerful it is, and it's phenomenal. It's really a crazy tool to use.
One thing I think about even outside of the music itself is that music with a message. Like I remember being a kid, right? And I was an instinct kid, and I was like, oh, I got to go to a concert or I got to meet. I love that Kara KK has been such a face for this too, because what she represents for the kids obviously is this great person that is smiley and you can dance along with and be so be carefree. But the other side of it for the families It's a place for community, So now, KK takes the pink jumpsuit off, and she's still living this every single day with her children. And so, you can turn the song off and you can write KK, and that same person will come through all over. So it's even more than music with the message. It is total community, and that's what we hope, is that more people like you are like, hey, I like this song, and then you just figure out who Kara is and what she represents, and you're like, I have a friend.
We're on
I
the same road together, we really are.
think that community is so important, and I have so many opinions about social media, but one of the great things that I found in the time that I've been trying to do this, I reach people all over the world, and that's just crazy to me that just from posting a video online, we can reach so many people and build the community that maybe we never had. And just through, we can feel connected through a screen, as silly as that sounds, but being able to feel that. And I think that music is just another layer on top of that. Music can be very changing for a lot of our kiddos. My 9-year-old, that's his favorite thing in the world. So I'm excited to show him your guys' stuff.
Yeah.
We took the kids to the St. Louis Aquarium. I was just blown away by the staff there. Not only is everything just very like visual, tactile, very sensory friendly for my kids, but my 7-year-old, who is non-speaking and just has a really hard time getting out in public. We have a little wagon stroller, and he like had the comforter, not a blanket. He took like a comforter from his bed into the wagon stroller and had it over his head, like clearly super overstimulated while we were in there. And the staff there, I don't usually have these experiences when we got in public, but the staff there was so understanding, and they're like, hey, we have these headphones behind the counter that he can use. There's a sensory room over here that you can use. And not only did they have the tools, but they knew how to use the tools, and they knew what they were used for and what group they were used for. And they were able to recognize that he needed that. As a mom, like with your music, what do you hope that your music does for other families similarly to that?
I really hope that there's dance parties.
Yeah,
I'm not
seriously.
gonna lie, because every kitchen I've ever lived in with my kids, we've always had dance parties in our kitchen, whether the kitchen's big or small. And it always brings us close and it brings us together. And so I just hope it encourages dance parties. Like if it's like friends, families, neurodivergent, neurotypical, everybody, it encourages like, oh, this is fun. I feel good. And that's kind of what I hope.
I wanted to say I love that experience, by the way, and that's something that we decided to highlight with Strawberry Road as well. So we have this thing called Strawberry Road Trips. And so we're within the YouTube. So instead of just the music, we were like, hey, because KK said it too, when you go to a place that highlights and takes care of you as a family, you don't forget it. So we decided right now it starts in Nashville, but hopefully we'll get to, because I'm from Philly, we hope to get to the Philly Stadium, who also has a sensory friendly room. So we want to start visiting, and you know how the shows that kids watch now, like Blippi visits or whatever, we want to be that for Strawberry Road, to show and highlight that there are places here that will make your kiddo feel safe.
Yes.
And even more so, will cater to you and give you the sensory techniques and tools that you need to be able to have a great experience. And so that's our next step. And so we're really excited about that.
I love that. My next question was actually, what's the big picture in the next 5 to 10 years? So it's kind of a good segue.
Literally hit that on the head. Like that's super, super perfect. I love all those things. And I feel like it's so important for people to accept our kiddos, right? And make you feel loved and accepted and included. And the place that we just did some content is at We Rock the Spectrum. And there's a sign on their wall that says something like, here, you don't have to say sorry.
Yes.
And I love it, because that's the first thing you want to say. And even before I went there at Awesome Life, I didn't even know that was on their wall. And that's what I would say to everybody in the little like powwow before. I'd be like, listen, like you are awesome. And there's only one rule that I have here. And it's like, you don't have to say you're sorry. If your kid's crying, if they're stimming, it doesn't matter here. And this is a place of community. So I want that to transfer into Strawberry Road and all the things. The next 5-10 years, it would be so fun if this became a fun celebration. If it all goes in the trajectory of where we think it will go, because this is a niche, this is a need. No one's doing this, right? It's no one's
Right.
doing a modern day Mr. Rogers, Danny Go for our kiddos with special needs. We are literally saying, like, we're creating a space. We're not saying, oh, you're invited to sit at our table. We're saying, no, we are the table. We're the table. You come join our party because we're taking it over. You know what I'm saying? I'd love it if this pops off, and it'd be super fun if we could do shows and we could like celebrate with our littles and like, Strawberry Row on the go or on the road or road trips, But at some point, it would be so wonderful down the road if we could have like a Strawberry Road Cafe. We employ
That.
kiddos or young adults with disabilities and differences, and it's everybody belongs here. I know that my son would love to work there. It's another trajectory and another example of like how we can support, because at some point, that would be really wonderful to have that down the line.
And my big goals is hopefully within the next few years is to open, I'm calling it a sensory studio. I want it to be like a sensory room and a playroom, plus like educate parents all in the same place. And if that happens, Strawberry Road is more than welcome to come dance at the studio. That would be amazing.
And I also hope that we can start taking this like, countrywide and worldwide, and being in places, and being an advocate, especially since like, Kara has has a child with autism. I don't have a child with special needs, but I do have a voice, and I do love both her and Rhodes so much. And so wherever like Strawberry Road takes us to be able to have a voice and to advocate for these kids, like I just want to be that strong arm friend on the side,
All led from the heart. The heart is what we keep saying. We're like, go back to the heart, go back to the heart. It's led with love because it's actually happening from personal experiences, from my perspective, from Benny's perspective. And we just want the whole world to find out about us so that we can help just make people feel loved and celebrated, and do shows and throw out squishy strawberries in the audience and get sensory like scarves and ring and just like have fun.
I think Brittany's just a good example to everybody. Because I had an interview with Henry the barber. He's like a sensory friendly barber, sometime in the summer last year. And he does not have, just like Brittany, does not have a family member that is a part of the autism community. Basically, he made a weighted cape. He's the owner and the founder of the weighted cape. I don't know if you've seen it, for kiddos with haircuts. And he said, I saw a need and I just built this. And he said, and then I was kind of thrown into this community. And he said, if there's anything that I can tell you, it's that your tribe is out there. You just have to go find it. We might not have the same exposure you do, but we will walk right alongside you, and we will go all the distance that you need us to. And I think that Brittany's just an amazing example of that, and a testament to us that it's so easy to stay in these isolated bubbles, because it's a lot easier to just stay at home most of the time. But that we do need to lean on other people and trust that other people are going to walk this journey with us. I think that story is just beautiful, guys.
How blessed it feels that a child who is not your own feels safe with you. And that like whenever he comes and gives me a hug or he sits next to me, I know what that journey for Kara has looked like, and for him to just feel safe with me, and it's like want to run 20,000 miles for him,
Where can we find you guys at on? I know on Spotify, YouTube, socials, where are you guys located if people want to find you?
Spotify, we're on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So all the things.
Tags are Hey Strawberry Road.
Thank you for having us.
And this is our first podcast.
I feel so honored.
Yes.
You guys, it was so nice to talk to you.